Dinner time.
No, now's a good time. Yo, Brian, where you at, bro? We've been waiting for an hour. What do you mean it happened again? Wait, where are you now? Dude, I can't hear you. Hello?
What happened? Is that Brian?
Yes, Brian. He said he's been kidnapped again.
By
for
who?
some reason. He said the HBA.
HBA?
What was that?
Hilux Bastards Association?
Really?
Oh, you don't know those guys?
What, they exist?
Yes, they were pretty pissed about the P-Series review we did.
But
Saying we trashed the Hilux a little bit too much.
it's a good car though. But anyway, so it doesn't look like it's gonna be here. So can we do the review without him?
Brian, I don't think we can. Unless...
Well, hello.
Oh yeah, there's this guy.
Well, this guy.
This
Rodney.
guy, the one that orchestrated Brian's.
Oh!
Yeah, I'm
That was your
literally
doing.
them. But those are empty, false accusations.
Okay.
Well,
I have
you
no-
just admitted to it right
To
now.
the camera.
Maybe a little.
Okay, so I think the review is...
Yeah, we can do it now. All three.
Alright, so...
Wait, let me be sure. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're good.
Brought to you by CarCrazy.Africa, news, reviews, and automotive classifieds.
So, since Brian is clearly preoccupied at the moment, I thought it only makes sense that I get to pick the car that we're reviewing today because I was the run-up from the previous episode. If you remember, if you haven't watched that, link is in the description. I said that right? Yeah, it's in the description below. So check it out. So what do we have today? Wow, ladies and gentlemen, say hello to the Toyota Fortuner 2013 model, aka the D4D. And this is no way to appease, though I think it works in our favor. We're trying to appease the HBA association. So yeah, it's close enough to Hilux, right? Right?
So you join us on the outside of the Fortuner, and I have to say, it's not something that you really get excited over. It's
Yeah.
just,
It's pretty standard, which is a good thing to the HHB people, A community. I mean, it's not offensive. I mean, you've got a nice big grill, which is not that big by today's standards, but it's still okay. A bit blingy because you got all this chrome.
yeah, you've got so much bling with the fake. It's actually fake chrome. After a few years, you can see it peeling off, and it reveals the plastic that's underneath. But from the grille to the lights to the lower bumper area, there's nothing that's too fancy or confusing. It's pretty straightforward design. If you've seen a Hilux before,
Yeah.
I think you pretty much have seen the Fortuner. And moving on to the hood, you've got this hood nostril thingy. It was first seen on this generation of Hilux. Oh, sorry, Fortuner. So you've got this hood scoop thing. That's
that-
for the intercooler
Is that the official name? Hood scoop thingy.
thingy. Yeah,
All right,
but
cool.
they never gave it like a proper.
Take your word for it.
All right, so from there, let's go to the side. What do you think about?
The thing continues from the front. It's pretty standard. I mean, firstly, we've got the thing you don't really see a lot these days, though, are these massive wheel arches. Nowadays,
Yes.
they go for a little bit more subtle design. But yeah, this still looks great for what it is. Then it's also riding on fair. I think this is a good size wheel, to be honest.
It is.
Not
It
too
is.
big, not too small. Because nowadays they're riding on what 20s, 21s, and that's ridiculous.
Yes, and another important thing to note is these wheel arches, the extended ones, they only came after the facelift. If you see like the pre-2000, is it 2010, 2011? Pre-2011 models, it's a bit more straightforward. Like you just come from the side and just
It's a bit more flush.
tapers off. Yeah, it's flush.
Oh, cool.
But this actually looks better, in my eyes,
Yeah.
looks better.
I agree.
And
Then you've got the turn signal and the rearview mirror, which is a nice touch.
yeah, it is. To
Doesn't
me, it's
really do
neither
anything.
here nor there. It's just Toyota. But anyways, it works.
Then you've got the classic, what do you call this? The Brian.
Oh,
The Brian step.
yes. Without this, Brian would never be able to reach the handle. Anyways,
So in honor of Brian, free Brian, HBA community.
forgive him.
Forgive him.
He
please.
doesn't know better.
Anyways, moving down here, again, some more chromage or plastic, I think,
Yeah.
going on. Tinted glass, this comes standard if you want.
Yes, you can actually get one with. They call it anti-smash and grab, but we know the true
Yeah, we know
intentions.
what's going on.
What's going on? Yes.
Then you've got the roof rail.
Yeah, they actually do help the image of this car. Like, I mean, in terms of looks, it doesn't look too special. It's pretty much a utility vehicle, and having those on top actually helps make it look a bit more, butch.
Butch. That's
So-
the only word you can really think of.
Exactly.
Then we move further down, pretty standard affair. Then we come to mudguards, I guess. That's a thing people aren't doing anymore, but I guess it's worth.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning, but pretty much every car has it now, even like Corolla. So it's not too exciting, but it's there.
All right, cool. So let's now take a look at the rear
The rear.
egg and see what's going on there.
All right, so you join us in the back, and it's guess what? Nothing's changed. It's a standard affair. It's a Fortuner, and
Wait. No. We cannot start this without mentioning the most important thing.
what?
This
G-
D4D.
Some
This is
important,
very important.
nomenclature. It's most people know this car as a D4D. The first time I heard it, I was like, "What's that? D4D?" I was thinking maybe they're talking about the Isuzu or something. Then I remembered that this was written on the side of the car. So yeah, most people will know this synonymously as a D4D. But the name itself, the Fortuner name, to me, is not as appealing. It's a bit weird. What does Fortuner really mean? But anyways, we'll gloss over that.
Alright, so apart from that badge, we've got another one up here, which spells the name Fortuner.
Yes, and like in the front, we mentioned that the chrome paint peels off, and we're already starting to see some of that happening here. Well, this is a used vehicle, so it's expected from like a 10, 15-year-old car.
Yeah, given the age. That's
Yeah,
what you
given
mean.
the age, that's what you get.
So, key thing to note here, this car originally came out in 2004, right? And then at around 2009, it got a facelift, where you got those other design lights, where you got that. Anyway, it's a different design.
It's a different.
Then this is like the final iteration of that generation. And I think this is the best looking one, especially with the lights. I think that's the key highlight for me. They took like this Alteza sort of ethos in terms of the lights to have like this 3D effect in them, which I think is cool. I like.
All right, so with that, how about we head inside?
Cool. And I think the perfect person to tell us more about it, Ronald. Take it away, Ronald.
Alright guys, welcome to the front of the D4D. So what we have here, we have a leather interior, very, very soft and plush as well. We also have like power seats. That's why you see I've drawn the seat all the way back to show that it has enough space right here for a taller person to occupy this place. From here, we also have all powered windows. All four windows are powered, and You have your, this, I don't know which finish this is, but it seems plastic-like. So you find it on the door handle, you find it on top of the steering wheel, and here on the front infotainment system. And then on the down below here, you have cup holders. You have one cup holder, which is quite important for HBA people. Keep it up. We have another cup holder right on the top right side here. And well, this is the impression of the whole steering wheel and the meter clusters. We have your ordinary RPMs, you have your speedo, and you have your temperature and fuel gauges. And on the middle one, on the speedo, there's a tiny chrome plating right around the speedo. And then we have the steering wheel, not overly big. I think it's the right size for the HBA crew. You have your ordinary steering controls, you have volume, you have channel presets, you have answer or hang up. And right behind here, you have another feature which I think is quite good for such a truck, the cruise control. Yeah, good for long distance driving, highway driving, very, very useful. And then you also have, if we move a little bit to the infotainment here, besides the finish that I already mentioned, the plastic-like imitation of wood, and the 4, maybe 5-inch touchscreen infotainment, you have these storage compartments. I don't know what it is, but I just put my glasses in there. I don't know what else you would want to put, but there are 2 of them, and they are on either side of the infotainment. You have your ordinary gear shift, 5 speed, 5 front, 1 rear, and then you also have a tiny gear for transmission, for low range and high range gears, for easy transfer. I think it's more practical when you have these tiny gears, so that you actually know when you shift into a gear rather than a button, because you can actually accidentally press it and you're actually using 4-wheel drive when you want to be using maybe 2 or the like, who knows. Down below here you have your USB port and a 3.5mm jack for auxiliary, well, it's an auxiliary port. And back here you have another storage compartment, and yes, of course, it has to be there. An armrest, useful, quite useful when you're driving, cruising on the highway. You have your cruise control running, and you have your arm resting here, cruising in gear 5. Fantastic. Something which I had obviously forgotten. We have a cigarette lighter on the right side, and then we have another 12-volt accessory port on the left side. Yeah, just in case you need to start a fire when you've gone camping or you're stuck in the bush, who knows. And of importance as well is the infotainment. Yes, I did mention the plastic and the 4 or 5-inch display, but of importance is the sound quality that you get from the speakers in here. I mean, it's just a basic car, so you wouldn't expect to have one of those overly crazy sound system in the interior, but it's pretty decent, and it does justice for your highway driving or your around town or farm driving. So it's fairly decent, and it does it for me, so it's okay.
All right, folks, so this is it for the front of the D4D. Let's hear from Kudzi in the back.
Right. So you join me in the back, and it's actually, there's not much to talk about. It's just a 3rd row seat. I think the most interesting part would be me trying to get out of the 3rd row. So I think you actually have to be half human, half spider to be able to pull out of the back. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, that's not going to be tiring. So you find me in the middle row, and I have to say it's not too different from a Hilux, because this is a Hilux. But what you might notice immediately is you have way more space for your legs. I'm guessing that's because you don't need to have a pan in the back. And from there, you've got kind of nice leather, and an armrest, and what else? Oh, yeah, it's got air vents in the back, but that's pretty much it. If you're trying to look for something that's very general and basic, not too complicated, I think this would be the car for you. But if you're someone who looks for more in their mid-size SUV, what I'm trying to get at is this car is not fancy. It's not trying to be pretentious. It's not fooling anyone. It's what you see is what you get. It's pretty basic. There's no sockets. There's no USBs. There's no massage this or heated that. It's simply straightforward middle row seats, 3 people across, and that's just it.
So, onto the rear of the Fortuner. Now, it's quite interesting to note when you open it up. So, this is with the third row down, and as you can see, the disadvantage of having a third row SUV is that when this seat is up, you don't have much room left, but they are removable. So as you can see, the one on the left there, we took it out so we can give a demonstration of how that would look like. And if you're running this car as just a strictly 5-seater or 5 people can fit in without any hassles type of thing, then you've got a lot of room, as you can see here. And you've got the option of then further folding those seats if you want to carry like long items like I don't know, cement or people use it. This is Zimbabwe, anything is possible. So anyways, you can do that if you want once you fold those down. Another key thing to note is that once you've got these seats down, it's not too much of what can I say, it's not too barren. You do have a speaker here, I noticed, so you know you can be fairly comfortable, but it's only for kids because it's very tight in there, as you've seen with Kudzi's demonstration. But other than that, it's fairly good. Oh, one more thing to note rather is that you've got the spare wheel underneath, so that helps in terms of packaging. You can have more room here to play with. Then you've got your tow hitch out here. Oh, one more thing. one more thing is these seats aren't really foldable, the back seats. You gotta like tie them to the wall of the car, which is something that you only find, I think, with Toyota models. People these days, or other companies, they just fold them flat into the floor. But having them on the side means you've got a little bit more height room, but width room is a little bit limited because of the seats folded up. But other than that, that's pretty much it. It's fairly nice back here, and if I was doing the boot guide the proper way, I would fit in here properly and I'll be fine. So that's it.
Show us. Let me
Fine, you know, I'll prove it. I'll prove it. It's not even that hard. I don't even know why. You see? So this is like a perfect Shika car if you wanted to, because you can fit like maybe 4 or 5 people on a good day back here. Some more inside there, maybe about 5 in the middle row, 2 in the front, then maybe 1 on your lap if you're driving, if you really want to maximize your profits. Pro tip.
Alright, so you join us on the road with the Fortuner, and there's nothing special to talk about. It's just another Hilux on the road. But I think the key thing to mention here is the engine. The 3-liter D4D engine is pretty renowned for its reliability, and it's got decent torque. You can pull stuff, you can haul stuff, you can carry your family, you can do pretty much everything. It's more of a lifestyle vehicle, so yes. Any thoughts, Tino? Or
oh yeah, just
Ronald?
to elaborate more on that engine. So this has 343 torque, right?
Yeah.
And, 168 horsepower, which I think is it's decent for the size. Granted, the one that came after this has a little bit more. I think the current rate these days is about 400 horsepower, or 400 newton meters rather.
Mm-hmm.
But even so, with 343, I mean, we haven't really been complaining, have we?
No, we haven't.
So, Ron, what do you think in the middle row?
I'm trying to think of something else other than the turbo whistle.
Yeah, that's pretty loud.
That's why I love the D4D. I mean, the whistle, man, the whistle, and when you floor it, it books.
Okay, yeah.
But other than that, the middle row, I mean, it's fairly comfortable here. I mean, ample space, good visibility. You have pretty much the basic amenities. Your quick access panel in case I need to jump out the window.
Okay,
Why
yeah.
would you be jumping out the window?
You never know. Isn't that something that Brian does when he's...
Okay.
But then to add on to the issue of space, as you can see, I'm in the third row, which is usually reserved for kids. But I'm actually, I'm okay here. I think maybe it's because I've been in a lot of mushika-shikas, so I know how to fold my legs the right way. But but even so, like, I had to do a little bit of a split here, but I'm okay. I'm comfortable. I've got decent enough room, and I've got cup holders back there too, so I'll be okay. I mean, and I've got air vents here for air conditioning, so I think it's fairly comfortable back here too.
Quick question. How many times did you have to fold your legs? Is
Don't
it
ask.
on second level? Is it like third level? First level?
It took a while, let's just say. Then I had
Took a
to
while.
stretch first, though. I think
So, yes, with that in mind, what kind of a person is this intended for?
I
Who
think-
buys a Fortuner? Why should they buy a Fortuner and not a Hilux and not a Prado? And
Okay.
Well, the difference I obviously notice when you mention the Hilux and this one is just the sitting capacity. The sheer seating capacity changes, it makes the cars different. So you're looking at probably a family guy, a person who might need to carry a few more people in the back. Or in this case, someone who has a whole lot of extended family. I mean, this is the African setup. So you need your grandma, your grandma's grandma, and okay, no, not your grandma's grandma's grandma, but yeah, close enough.
Alright,
So it's basically someone who has family. You need someone who might need to carry a few more people and might need to use the space in terms of traveling and the like. That's what I
Alright.
think.
I think, in addition to that, you're also looking at a family guy who wants a specific thing. So they don't want a Hilux, so they don't want a truck. They want something that's similar to a Hilux, but they don't want to pay extra for the Prado. But they want something that is decent on road and excellent off-road. I feel like if you want something that feels a lot more comfortable on road, you're looking more towards your German rivals like BMW, Mercedes, or even British rivals like Range Rover. But if you do that, you're going to be sacrificing a whole lot of US dollars to, to maintain it and to make sure that it's running properly. But if you want
Yes.
something that's got that Toyota reliability, seats your in-laws and other people that you may not like but you have to, then I think this is the sweet spot. And for the price, how much is this, by the way?
yeah, I was about to get on that. It's around 30K. So if you're looking to buy one of these, it depends on condition and I think model year, but this is the facelift and it's 30,000. So that means you can get the first generation or the pre-facelift for a little under or over 20K.
Yeah.
And to me, that's where it's more of a bargain. Whereas if you're paying 30K, I think I would go European because they just offer that refinement. It might not be as cheap when it comes to servicing
that's the
and
caveat.
other things, but I think for me, I would make that sacrifice.
Not that it might not be, but it is not cheap.
Because
It depends. You can be the lucky person and you
Written in
find.
stone, man. It's not maybe. Or,
Okay.
But then the other thing, in terms of running costs, I mean, on average, you're looking at about 8 liters to the 100 kilometers, and that's fairly decent. This is a diesel, by the way, so yeah, you're generally looking at those figures used as well. So yeah, and the engine quite stout, as Kudzi has demonstrated a few times with some launches.
Alleged
By the way,
launches.
That's one thing I have to comment on. The power delivery when you floor it. I mean, because there's that turbo lag. I mean, this is just a basic truck. But, well, yeah, as Kudzi says, a basic truck. But when you floor it, and then there's the spool, the turbo spools, and then when the power hits the wheels, you have that slippage that you kind of get. Which, well, now they're hybrid turbos, so it all got cancelled out. But generally, when you step on it, there's that slippage. So it's kind of like you're losing a bit of control, but you still have control.
Oh, some people actually like that. I know Brian will love
Brian
the
would.
feeling of
And it
having
kind of
no
jerks
control.
forward because and then instantly the turbo boosts in, it kicks in, and then there's that
Now
slippage.
that power in torque.
Power, yes,
The
yeah.
difference.
Yeah, a lot of people have already commented on how they like the power, and it's a bit more consistent than the current generation Fortuner, which uses the GT engine. That's a bit more boosty or peaky when it comes to like delivering its performance. This one's a bit more sedate and predictable, and I think that's what family vehicles are supposed to do anyway, so should be fine.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I like how not intimidating it is.
Yes,
And
it's not-
yeah,
it's
so
not-
if you're someone who's looking for all of that, then I think the Fortuner is the perfect truck or SUV or car for you. And I think we have to give a big shout out, of course, to Cruise Auto City, who provided this very car for us to do all the things we did with it. And you can also check them out if you want to see more of the stuff that they have in stock at the moment, using the link in the description below. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching another episode, and definitely check us out in the next episode.
So, am I Brian? Do I have to do the Z-CarCulture? We out!
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
We need it. Tell a friend, share, and the other things, and comment.